Streets around Wuhan's wet market today lie eerily empty. Blocked off by blue barricades, it is blamed for a global pandemic.
It has been confirmed that there are 2 cases now in England.
There are now over 500,000 recorded coronavirus cases globally.
Hey everyone, it's 4 o'clock in the East. A warning today from the World Health Organization that officials are deeply concerned about the rapid escalation of coronavirus as global infections surpass 1 million.
2 runners just helping out with everything. So you've got all the staff. I've got 2 runners that are helping everything.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home. That is why people will only be allowed to leave their home for the following very limited purposes. Shopping for basic necessities, 1 form of exercise a day, for example, a run, walk or cycle, any medical need to provide care or to help a vulnerable person, and travelling to and from work, but only where this is absolutely necessary and cannot be done from home. I was at a hospital the other night where I think there were actually a few coronavirus patients, and I shook hands with everybody, you'll be pleased to know, and I continue to shake hands. And hi folks, I want to bring you up to speed with something that's happening today, which is that I've developed mild symptoms of the coronavirus, that's to say a temperature and a persistent cough, and on the advice of the Chief Medical Officer I've taken a test that has come out positive, so I am working from home, I'm self-isolating. I want to pay my own thanks to the utterly brilliant doctors, leaders in their fields, men and women, but several of them for some reason called Nick, who took some crucial decisions a few days ago, for which I will be grateful for the rest of my life. I want to thank the many nurses, men and women, whose care has been so astonishing.
Not very much, honestly, because this is no different to what I usually do. Obviously it's different in some ways because usually 1 day of my week would be dedicated to going to college, but because all the colleges and schools have shut down, it's we can't do that right now because of what's going on, and the rest of my week would be just dedicated to getting stuff done at home, like work, balancing that out with relaxation so I don't get too stressed. But it's just weird, you know, knowing that something's going on and knowing that not everybody can do something about it right now. It's just weird, you know, kind of getting on with stuff when you subconsciously know that there's something going on in the world that we can't change, and that will only get worse before it gets better, unfortunately. And although it hasn't really affected my daily routine a great amount, I know it has for some people, and I know some other people will be affected more than me. So I suppose we just got to do the best we can and get on with stuff.
I wouldn't say that it really has affected my daily routine. I am a full-time carer anyway, so looking after my mum is the same as always, you know, making sure she is up and about, making sure she's, you know, had something to eat, had her medicine. All of that is the same, really. The only thing that's changed is that I'm not in class, but that's just moved online, so even that's not that really that different.
My name is Wicks, and I'm a website designer for Interactive Vision. On the whole, my daily routine has not changed dramatically by the coronavirus, but as a self-employed website designer, I have surprisingly had more work to do since the virus has come along. This is because businesses have more time to focus on the smaller jobs that need doing. Before the virus came along, I was working overnight. It was easiest for me to get my work done, as websites would have had no one visiting during the hours I was working. Since then, I've had to get used to working during the day, as this is when my clients are available to answer any questions I may have to ask.
Well, it's affected it fundamentally, actually. You know, I'm not able to go to work. I'm not able to take my children to school. So my daily routine has changed unrecognisably. Rather than getting up every morning at 6:15, leaving the house at 6:45 to go to work for the day, I'm up and I am homeschooling the children whilst working full time. So my daily routine has changed beyond recognition.
The lockdown period, I'm kind of enjoying it now, to be honest with you. I mean, you've got to find ways to enjoy it in order to cope during these times, because if you don't laugh about it, you'll cry, you know. So I'm kind of enjoying spending all this time at home on one level, but on another level, especially when it gets to late at night and you just sat there thinking, oh god, I'm so bored, this is rubbish, this. You know, it's just, and obviously the lockdown period is playing like a big part on people's mental health, which is more important than ever right now, to just talk to people if you need to and reach out, because there's always somebody there listening. So, you know, it's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be for me personally, but again, I know for some people it's going to greatly change how they live their daily lives. And, you know, hopefully this will all be over soon, and we can all get back to like when nothing was going on.
It was easier in the beginning because, you know, my dad had moved back in because he's high risk too. So I think it was exciting because my dad was around again for the first time in a long time. I've not lived with him since I was 8, nearly 25 now. So that was easier because, you know, I got to spend more time with both parents, which was great. But now I think, you know, tempers are starting to wear down a bit now. Patience is definitely running out, I think. Arguments are starting. So yeah, it was definitely easier at the beginning. But that being said, it's not that bad now. Like, I mean, it's still okay.
The lockdown period on the whole for me is quite hard. I must do everything remotely now instead of going to see my clients in person. When it comes to day-to-day life, it's also been quite a challenge. having to put more time aside than usual to go shopping, and only being able to go out during a specific time has really taken its toll. Since the lockdown has started, I have avoided leaving my flat for anything unless it's been unavoidable.
Well, personally, I'm okay. I'm finding it. The challenge personally is managing my children and my job. My wife works for the NHS full time, and her workload has gone through the roof with the coronavirus. So it means that I'm kind of at home, juggling all the domestic activities that are required, looking after my children and doing my job. So personally, fine. Work, fine. I feel that it could be, there's people in worse situations.
If anything has changed about my life, it's the fact that I can't really meet up with friends as much as I'd want to, and I can't get out as much as I want to. I mean, I usually go long times inside my house anyway, but like, it's just like kind of knowing in your head that you can't meet up with anyone and you can't like see anybody. You know, I know for some people that their lives would have changed greatly. I've got some friends who are carers. I know some friends who have kids, so I can only imagine for them how it feels to have to bring up their kid or look after whoever in this environment. The least I can do is like empathise in this situation, seeing as my life isn't really different to how it usually is.
The fact that my dad's moved back in has been the biggest change, really. He has COPD, so he's high risk, which basically means he has to self-isolate and shelter for 12 weeks. He's been living here for almost 6 weeks now, so all the running about and the shopping and stuff I do, which is fine, but it just basically means that I'm caring for 2 people now. Yeah, so that's the biggest change, really, is caring for 2 people. Not used to that, but I'm okay. Like, we're managing.
The thing that's changed the most has been not being able to see my family and my friends, because although I'm not going to work, I'm still doing work. I'm working from home. Although my kids aren't going to school, that's not really part of my routine, that's theirs. So the biggest thing for me is not being able to see my parents and my nieces and nephews, and not being able to meet up with my friends, which I did on a weekly basis. So we're not able to do that at the moment. So that's been, you know, the thing that's been most difficult. Obviously, not having any football to watch as well has been quite difficult, Harvey, I don't mind telling you. But I can live with that.
If there's one thing that this whole coronavirus pandemic has taught me, is that we can't take things for granted, because we usually take going out for granted, socialising with friends, doing this, that and the other, and when that's taken away from us as humans, we feel weird and we kind of long for connection. So my biggest takeaway from this is to just not take things for granted and appreciate what you have whilst you have it. You know, because there's some people in this world that are less privileged. There's some people in this world that don't even have houses. And there's some people in this world that don't know what they're doing right now. They feel lost, and you know, just don't take things for granted, and just appreciate what you have while you still have it. And hopefully we as a society will grow from this experience and learn from it, and hopefully we'll all learn to be a bit kinder to each other going forward in the future.
Patience. definitely taught me patience. It's never been my strong suit. It's always something that I've lacked. Yeah, so patience is definitely a virtue that I've had to learn over the last 6 weeks. Yeah, just, it's always noisy. There's always a TV on, or there's, you know, the doors in this house creak. So every time somebody goes from any room, you can tell which room it is. You can't do anything quietly in this house. It gets a bit tiring. But apart from that, we're doing okay. So yeah, patience.
The pandemic has taught me to be more cautious about what I'm touching and what I'm doing when I'm out. I'm washing my hands more frequently and keeping my distance between people. It has also shown me that I can also go around a few different supermarkets now with an app, scanning my shopping so I don't have to interact with anyone or use scanners that are provided by the door when I walk in.
Yeah, I think it's taught me that just how vital technology is to our society, and how perhaps we don't utilise it and use it as well as we could. Now, I'm not talking big picture things here, because I think that's been well covered. I think obviously it's taught us about society and community, and not taking things for granted. You know, we're talking over a technological platform now that, you know, 6 months ago was available, but we weren't using. I think when we come back at this, I'm talking my capacity now as a lecturer. You know, we need to look at how we deliver sessions for students, and I think that's been something that's been a real eye opener. The other things have been broad and societal, and I think have affected everybody. So if I'm looking and drilling down into my own kind of existence, the ability to deliver sessions and connect with students remotely has been fantastic. I mean, if you look at the environmental impact, for example, on that, you know, I travel from the Yorkshire Dales into Bradford, you travel from your home into Bradford for us to meet and have a tutorial. We are capable of doing that both from our own homes and saving, you know, a lot of emissions into the environment. I think that's something that's worth considering moving forward. There are certain times where we absolutely need to meet face to face and have that kind of interaction, but also I think we need to acknowledge there's times where it's not necessary, where actually we could do that from home.
My advice to people who are struggling during these hard and uncertain times is to just, like, I say this a lot to people, but you just can't give up. You've just got to keep going. You've just got to keep trying, keep pushing, and keep being mentally strong, you know. I know for some people it's harder because they might suffer from depression or mental health problems, and my advice would be, if you suffer with that, please reach out to somebody. I can't stress this enough, because it's mental health kind of takes a back seat in today's society in favour of, like, other things, which is a shame. Please reach out if you can, and please talk to somebody, because I know there's people out there who care about you exponentially and who want you to do well. So yeah, just please keep safe. Please stay well, stay healthy, and help wherever possible. Thank you for listening to this. Take care, and I'll speak to you all soon.
Just remember that every day spent inside, every day that you spend away from friends and family, you are saving lives. It really is as simple as that. It sucks, and you know, there's plenty of people that wish that they could see whomever it may be, family, friends, whoever, but you are saving lives by not going out. So just remember that, you know, when it's sunny and you want to go to the park, just remember that, you know, if a lot of other people are thinking that same thing. So if you go, then a lot of other people are going to go too, and then this whole thing will just continue on for weeks and months longer than it will do anyway. So yeah, just breathe and remember it will be over. We will come out the other side of it, but we can't do that unless we all work together.
If you find it hard during the coronavirus, I suggest speaking to family and friends over social media and on the phone. It really does help. Try and go out for a little exercise when no one is around. This is normally at night. Just remember the key aspects when you do need to go out, like keeping your distance and washing your hands more often. And lastly, find a new or focus on an existing hobby. Focusing on something that you enjoy will help keep your mind off everything that is happening outside.
It goes back to the technology, embrace some new technology. The group of friends that I'm part of, we're not all my age. I'm 42. The ranging age from the 30s all the way up into their 90s, and what we've done is we've supported some of the older members of this group to use platforms such as Zoom, and we have a weekly meeting where we all get together as a group of friends, and we have a cold drink and a chat every Friday night like we used to do. So my advice would be to people is look at different ways with how you can connect with people. Can you ring them? I know that lots of people, including myself, have weekly quizzes with their family over Zoom or over with their friends. I know some people play board games together. You can watch things together. You can do what's called a watch along, where you can hook up the video via Zoom or Microsoft Teams or something. You can both click play on a film or an episode of a TV program at the same time and talk about it together as you're watching it. I think there's lots of opportunities there to keep connected. We can't meet face to face at the moment, so rather than dwelling on that, I would say, okay, what's the next best thing? And I think the next best thing are these technological advancements, and at the very least pick up the phone and ring someone. My grandma is 88 and she lives, I live in the Yorkshire, she lives right up in the middle of nowhere, and because of her age she's having to self-isolate and do the social distancing thing for 3 months, so I just pick up the phone and ring her, once a week. Or sometimes twice a week. I get my children to draw pictures and send them to her. Just those little things that make people feel connected.